In this podcast, two Gen Xers are taking a trip down memory lane, revisiting and reflecting on the cinema of the 1980s. We'll look at the hits and the flops, the studio blockbusters and art house indies, the critically acclaimed, and the universally reviled. The series is hosted by me, Lisa Molinelli, a writer and librarian, and features Dustin Morrow, a filmmaker, author, and professor of film. So pull on your legwarmers, crank up your boombox, and hop in the DeLorean. It's time for the Long Rewind. Welcome to the Long Rewind. I'm your host, Lisa. With me, as always, is Dustin. Oh, my. Yeah. That's the clarion call of one of the cartoons of the 80s. What are we talking about today, Dustin?
The Smurfs.
Only the Smurfs?
The Smurfs? What was it? The
Smurfs.
Oh, the Smurfs. That's right.
Yes, you know this. Are we doing an entire show about the Smurfs?
Did you ever have any of those little plastic Smurf figurines?
Did. Oh, yeah.
Do you remember which ones you had?
I can think of 2 or 3. I was obsessed with those. I wanted so many, but I had maybe 3 that I can think of. I had a Smurfette. I think we had it was like an Easter bunny, like a Smurf dressed as an Easter bunny. I don't remember which Smurf it was. Those are the 2 I can think of off the top, but I think I had like 3 of them.
I believe I had Papa Smurf, Smurfette. Nice. I had a Gargamel, and he came with a little cat. I can't remember the cat's name.
Azrael was the name of the cat.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And I randomly had a Smurf holding a tennis racket.
Yeah. That rings a bell. I don't know if I
remember
had
getting
that
at the hardware store in the small town where I grew up.
That's my favorite part of it was like, for us, they would have them at the stationery stores. I loved stationery stores.
They were in strange places. It wasn't like a Toys R Us or kind of a Walmart kind of toy. It was it was like in grocery stores or whatever.
Yeah,
it was like random places.
Like I said, for me, we would walk down to the stationery store in our local strip mall, and I just loved that place. It had so many like fancy, cool things to me. And one of them was, they'd have all these little Smurf figurines in a glass case. I just thought it was the greatest. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what are we talking about today?
Yeah, we're talking cartoons.
We're talking
80s cartoons.
That's right.
What was your, I feel like it doesn't make sense to ask any 80s kid whether they used to get up and watch Saturday morning cartoons, because I don't think that there's some, like an 80s kid that exists that didn't do that.
You mean on Saturday? Yeah. I mean, of course I did. There were Saturday mornings that were taken up with other things. I went to religious education for Catholics called CCD. On a lot of Saturday mornings, but we still watch cartoons before and after that.
To know that you're sitting in religious education school and you know that there are cartoons on the air as you're sitting there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad.
That sounds
glad I went, but
that sounds like waterboarding for a child. I mean, that's like crazy.
No, I mean, you got to see your friends and stuff.
Who cares?
I mean, I'm glad that I went, but we still did get to see.
I wouldn't have sacrificed Saturday morning cartoons for anything.
Well, that's how it was for me. But we did still watch Saturday morning cartoons for sure.
What about, were you allowed to eat sugary cereals?
No, not really. We didn't really do a lot of sugary cereals.
God. Your childhood, it sounds like Oliver Twist to me. It just sounds horrible.
My childhood was great. Shout out to my wonderful parents.
Religious
school
childhood. And no sugary cereals.
Sometimes we'd have great things on weekends, like wonderful New York City bagels and pancakes and stuff. So it's not like we didn't have good things. I would have
thrown out the world's best bagel to have the world's crappiest bowl of Lucky Charms on Saturday morning as a kid.
Well, put it this way. I don't think we really ate our breakfast with the in front of the cartoons.
Oh, really?
So we were watching them, but I don't think we were eating. So I don't know that it would have made much difference.
Well, I had the classic Gen X kids experience of eating sugary cereals, getting wound up on the sugar and watching Saturday morning cartoons.
That is a classic.
Yeah. What were your favorite sugary cereals when you did get them?
I like honeycombs a lot. I still like honeycombs. Frosted Flakes, Lucky Charms, like you said, those are good. This wasn't a sugary cereal, but one sort of novelty cereal we did have that I loved was, Oh my gosh, crispy critters. Do you remember crispy critters?
Vaguely.
I loved them. Those were
What
so
was
great.
that?
They were lightly sweetened. They were like little animal shapes, and they had a commercial. The spokes creature, I guess, for crispy critters was named Crispy, and he looked kind of like a Jim Henson puppet.
Huh.
I was really into crispy critters.
I remember that well. The name sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I'm not placing the rest of that.
I remember being really into them, and they were lightly sweetened.
I used to love, do you remember the variety packs of
Oh,
cereals?
yeah, I
where
loved
you get
those.
like 8 tiny single-serve boxes of sugary cereals. There would be like 1 Fruit Loops, 1 Frosted Flakes, 1 Corn Pops.
Yes.
Man, those were great.
Well, put it like, okay, here's the upside of Catholic church on the weekends. On occasional Sundays, they used to have these breakfasts after that you would go to, and they would have those multi-packs there, and we would be allowed to eat like any of them that we wanted. So that was very exciting for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember getting prizes in cereals? What a big deal that was.
Yeah, that was a big deal. I
The
mean, because we didn't have a lot of those, we
like
didn't get
plastic toys and things, and occasionally also like things where you could cut out proof of purchase, and you could send it in and get something. Like I would get like they would have like a G.I. Joe or whatever that you could, like a special figure you could only get through collecting cereal box tops and stuff like that.
I do remember that, and seeming like it was like a Herculean task to collect the proof of purchase that you need to get stuff.
And even though it was cool, like the stuff you tended to get was better, it was hard to like, I mean, it didn't match the novelty of being able to pull the prize right out of the cereal.
It's more immediate. Yeah, for sure.
It was a kid thing to like you would want the prize right away, and it was always at the bottom. And so you would have to pour all the cereal out into something to extract the prize and then return the cereal to the box from which it came. And that was always a bit of a challenge without making a mess. Do
you have a particular, for sure, what was your favorite cereal?
Oh,
or your favorites?
I don't remember having a lot of, I must have, I don't know why my mom would have bought stuff that I wasn't into. I don't remember having a ton of agency in it, but I liked Cocoa Krispies.
Mm-hmm,
I liked Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I forgot to say that one. That's
big
another favorite
Corn
of mine.
Pops fan. I love Corn
Pops.
Pops. I still love Corn Pops.
I still love Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That's such
I had a
good one.
babysitter that was into Kicks.
Oh yeah, I loved Kicks. We had
were
Kicks.
Good.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah. I wasn't huge ever into the little marshmallows, so I wasn't a big Lucky Charms guy. I would eat it if it was in front of me. I wouldn't kick it out of bed, so to speak, but it wasn't certainly wouldn't have been my choice if I was walking up and down the aisles myself.
I liked
I also
Kicks
did
too.
not, I also found the ones that were like cookies to be a little ridiculous.
Yeah, those did not live up to the hype. We tried
Cookie
that.
Crisp?
I remember.
Is that what it was called?
Yeah,
Cookie
later in
Crisp?
life we tried them, and they're not that good.
Yeah,
you think they're going to be little
you think
cookies,
they're going to be great,
and
but
they're not.
they're
really
just not that great.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah, Frosted Flakes, of course.
Yeah, those were a classic.
And I was never huge into Captain Crunch.
It's too hard.
Yeah, it is
like
also.
really,
it seems
really
like
crispy.
it might be the sweetest thing
that
ever
might be
produced. I mean, it's sugar on sugar on sugar. It makes makes Frosted Flakes seem like grape nuts.
Yeah. Did you do you remember any like favorite prizes or toys that you got, or you don't really remember them?
I don't remember a single prize that I pulled out of a bowl
well,
box of cereal that was like remotely meaningful or anything that I kept. I mean, it was crap. It was just garbage. It was like the cheapest plastic garbage, and I don't know. But it was free and it was a prize, and
it was more the experience than the thing, I suppose.
I mean, I think like it was a lot of it was the advertising too. Like that was the majority of commercials on Saturday mornings were for two things: cereal and toys.
Yes.
So I mean, it was the whole morning was just targeted right at the pleasure center of our brains.
I'm trying to think if there was anything that was, I mean, there must have been, but really 95 to 7%, 95 to 7% of what we were watching.
To give a little context, there were some
probably it.
regulations that were eased when Ronald Reagan took office.
Yeah.
That made it easier for corporations to directly target children, which was, probably not a great thing.
No.
But boy, did we enjoy those.
Yeah, I mean, that was
commercials
what
and
most
the
of
cereal
Saturday
commercials.
Yeah.
And if you go back and watch people's like uploaded VHS tapes of Saturday morning cartoons from the 80s, you'll be kind of mortified at the commercial breaks at how manipulative and how targeted children they are.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But
what's funny is most of the cereal commercials I remember were not for cereals I even cared that much about, but I remember them.
Yeah.
Like Trix. I never ate Trix, but how could you forget the Trix commercials, right? They usually
Tony
had a
the Tiger.
narrative.
I mean,
the
there were
Flintstone cereals.
they merchandised the heck out of a
yeah.
lot of those mascots for
definitely
the cereals.
Yep.
Before we get into counting down our top 10 cartoons of the 80s, I want to take a brief moment to shout out the non-cartoons of Saturday mornings.
Yeah, let's do that.
Because it was mostly cartoons, but it wasn't all cartoons. And there were shows that were specifically produced for Saturday mornings that were live action. And then there were shows that just seemed to show up that were syndicated, but somehow seemed to show up in every market on Saturday mornings. So among the shows that were produced for Saturday mornings were the ABC Weekend Special, which were live action adaptations of usually like classic books. Like I remember there was one for the champion jumping frog of Calabaris Count, whatever that
I don't know that one.
Mark Twain one. Mark Twain's short story. I'm trying to remember what some of the other ones were. There was a Tom Sawyer one. Mostly the thing I remember about the ABC Weekend Special is the opening credits, which was this sort of really beautifully animated, dive into the best children's literature of the last 200 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, really cool and lovely, and kind of a lovely theme. And it was like all of these live action shows that were produced for Saturday mornings, it would air kind of at the end, the tail end of Saturday morning.
It would herald the end of the cartoons.
The end of the Saturday morning. Yeah.
Definitely.
So where I grew up in the Midwest, it was like these things would come on around 11. Right. Saturday morning cartoons started around 5:30, and then they would end around 11-ish. Saved by the Bell was a high school sitcom, which I'm sure everybody has heard of, even younger people, because they've rebooted it several times.
Yeah.
And
it keeps coming back.
Yeah. It's something. If you haven't watched Zach Morris's Trash, which is
so
a YouTube series in
Yeah.
which this guy basically recaps episodes of Saved by the Bell to point out what a demented sociopath and all-around awful person Zach Morris was, then you should watch it because they're really, really funny. If Saved by the Bell gave us nothing else, it gave us the web series Zach Morris's Trash,
which is
pretty
great.
So funny.
Yeah, it's really funny. And was it a podcast or the web series too, where he actually did it with Mark Paul Gosselaar?
Yeah, they did
Morris.
A podcast. The guy that created
that's
Zach Morris's Trash and Mark Paul Gosselaar
Zach
did
himself,
rewatch podcast. And
yeah,
Mark Paul Gosselaar had not watched the show since it was originally on.
If he even watched it then, I don't know.
He was pretty mortified by every episode. Every episode was him criticizing his own performance and also criticizing the character. He comes across as a pretty cool dude.
Yeah, it was good of him to do that. Yeah, it's a really great idea that guy had. So.
Another show I loved from the era, Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Oh, yeah.
The great Paul Reubens and his immortal Pee Wee Herman character. And boy, there's just a lot of iconic stuff that came out of Pee-wee's Playhouse. My sister was also really into it. She was quite a bit younger than me, and so she had like the Pee-wee doll where you would pull the string on his back and he would go, "I know you are, but what am I?" or whatever.
Yeah. Just think about it. That was like performance art pop that showed up on Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Basically.
It's like pretty
crazy.
subversive stuff.
Yeah, it's wild.
My recommendation is if you haven't seen the Pee-wee's Playhouse Christmas special, to check it out because it is full of the wildest
celebrity
guest
guests.
stars you've ever.
It is.
Like a group of people that should just not have shown up in a TV special at all, let alone together.
Isn't Cher on it or
Grace
something?
Jones,
Grace Jones.
Cher, Oprah, like just one after another. You're like, it's like 45 minutes,
Yeah.
and like every 3 minutes, there's somebody shows up that
You're
you're
like,
like,
how is
what
this
are they
person
doing on this?
Yeah.
Everybody. That's how much everybody loved Pee-wee. Everybody loved Pee-wee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not lying. These people were really on that show.
A show that a lot of people probably don't remember, but which I really liked as a kid, is a show called Animal Crack-Ups.
Oh, yeah.
Animal Crack-Ups was a game show with celebrities competing by answering questions about animals. And they would show clips of like an animal doing something, and then they would freeze the clip and go, what do you think the animal does next? And then you would write your answer on a little board, and everybody would put it up, and you would win little stuffed monkeys, and that's how they kept score. And it was always people like Betty White, and also actors from ABC.
Oh, was it an ABC show?
It was.
Okay.
So you would see like Danny Pintaro and Alyssa Milano would be on it a lot.
Like from Who's the Boss?
Edie McClurg would be on it a lot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like Jason Bateman. Like it was all people from ABC sitcoms mostly. It was hosted by Alan Thicke from Growing Pains.
Yes.
He also sang the incredibly earworm catchy theme song to Animal Crack-Ups.
He sang a bunch of theme songs, which is something I didn't know till later in life. But I think he sang the Growing Pains theme song too.
Yeah,
anyway,
he did.
Yeah,
he could sing.
Yep.
Another show I loved. This was a syndicated series. It was a show called The Life and Adventures of Grizzly Adams.
Oh yeah, I was a little too young for that, but I love it now. Grizzly Adams.
Yeah,
is
so
great.
I've made Lisa watch some Grizzly Adams,
It's
and now
so
she's totally
cozy.
into it.
It's a cozy show.
Yeah, based on a real guy, real guy that accused of a crime he didn't commit. He escapes into the wilderness, finds he has a special way with animals. They just come right up to him, like they've known him for his whole life, and he has a pet, full-size grizzly bear named Ben, and he lives in a log cabin, and he's got a trapper friend and a Native American friend, and they have adventures, and it's just a really lovely, wholesome children's show shot entirely in the mountains of Utah.
Yeah, it's actually the landscapes are really lovely.
Yeah, it's a beautiful show shot on 16 millimeter. It just has this great kind of low budget but charming aesthetic. A lot of actors did guest starring spots on that. People that would go on to do stuff later on, people you would recognize.
I find it very relaxing.
Yeah, it's a great show. I love Grizzly Adams. Wild Kingdom was also big on Saturday mornings. It was syndicated, so it could show up anytime.
Yep.
But it was Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom, which was a more educational series about animals.
Yep.
I did not watch it a lot. It felt a little too educational for me.
Yeah, you're like, what is this doing on? So what am I watching?
Coming down from my sugar high after watching Hulk Hogan run around in an animated form, I just wasn't ready to learn anything.
Your brain wasn't primed for that. Yeah.
And then there were some shows there were shows on Nickelodeon that I didn't really have access to, and you probably didn't either, since I know you didn't have cable either as a kid. But Double Dare was originally a Saturday morning cartoon or show. There was a show called You Can't Do That on Television.
Yeah.
Which was big. There was a show on PBS called Square One TV.
I love Square One. That used to air in the afternoons for us.
I did not watch it, so why don't you explain what it was?
Sure. I used to love Square One. Like I said, for us, it didn't show on Saturdays. It was on afternoons. It was a live action show, and it was all about math. It would teach you about math, but kind of in fun ways. Sometimes there'd be like music videos about math and things like that. I used to really like it. I watched it all the time.
Cool.
So, yeah. In fact, I think your friend Ken Diego did some work on that.
Oh, is that right?
Show, yeah. I think when we met with him, we talked about that.
Ken worked on all the coolest shows.
He did. It's a great show.
Yeah. There was also a show on Saturday mornings, a syndicated show. I was a little older when this came on, so I never really got into it, but it was big at the time. It was called Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future.
Yeah, this sounds familiar.
And it was one of the first, or maybe the first, show to incorporate interactive toys.
Oh.
So you could buy these light firing reflective laser guns, kind of like laser tag. And the characters and actors on the screen wore these reflective things on their chests or whatever, and you could actually shoot at the TV. I didn't try that, but I had a game that was like a VCR game that had a laser. It never worked.
Yeah, I can't imagine that it worked. Wasn't there a show, like a laser tag show? I don't remember if it had an interactive component.
I can't remember if it was live action or cartoon. I want to say it was cartoon, but I
thought it was live action. Anyway, we'd have to look that up.
Captain Power was kind of a darker show, if I remember right, though. It was it was a little Terminator-esque. Like it was about like a war between humans and machines and set in kind of a quasi post-apocalyptic world, but done on a budget.
Yeah, I should think. Yeah.
Am I missing anything? Is that hitting your memory of the live action programming? There was Captain Kangaroo. He was a holdover from an earlier era
thing.
Yeah, he started in the 70s, but went into the 80s. Mm-hmm. I never saw him because he was on too early.
Yeah,
I did. He was on at like 5:30 in the morning.
It was pretty rare.
He was like the first show of Saturday morning, and even though as a kid I would get up really early on Saturday mornings, like most kids, I didn't get up that early.
Yeah, I have some vague memories of some real early mornings, but it wasn't our usual rhythm. I think I've seen Captain Kangaroo, but it wasn't something I watched on the regular.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of memory of him. And I tend to, when I think back on him, I think of him more as a 70s thing than an 80s thing. But I think he did work into the 80s. I think he did the show into the 80s.
Any other live action I can think of was stuff that aired on weekday afternoons and was like PBS type stuff.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. All right, should we get into cartoons?
Sure.
Did you have any trouble making a top 10 list?
No, cartoons? I didn't have any trouble with that. And I had plenty of, honorable mentions too. Yeah. But I should also say, like, the 80s experience of cartoons for kids wasn't just Saturday mornings. We also had, afternoon, after school shows too. So that was a lot of my experience with it too. Was
and a lot of the stuff in my top 10 and honorable mentions is not from Saturday morning. It's weekday stuff.
Yeah, I would say there's probably a
fewer of those, but most of it's Saturday morning.
Yeah, it's definitely a mix for me. So
should we do our honorable mentions and then get into our top 10s?
Sure.
All right, give me your honorable mentions. If you mention anything that's in my top 10, we'll skip it.
Okay.
And vice versa.
Okay. I doubt you even remember this one.
Okay.
There's a show. I saw it on the list and I was like, oh my God, that show. Sylvanian Families. Do you
Never
remember
heard
this
of
at all? Yeah, it might have been, first of all, it was pretty girly and it was probably past your time. It was like a show about little woodland creatures being very cozy. And I remember really liking it. And of course they had dolls.
Sylvanian family? Like Transylvanian type?
No,
spelling?
It was more, Sylvanian is more like forest. It's like a word for forest type setting. Hence the woodland creatures. They were, little woodland creatures who wore cozy outfits and had cozy little houses and could talk.
All right.
And I owned, they sold little figurines that were sort of covered in velvet. And I just remember really liking it.
Yeah, I have zero awareness of it at all.
I think it would not have appealed to you. And so that was one of mine. Are we going back and forth on honorable mentions or?
Give me like 3 or 4 and I'll give you 3 or 4.
Okay. Do you remember the Popples? Popples? Popples?
The name sounds vaguely familiar, but I can't think of what they
were like little...
I could guess based on the name that they're ripoffs of like a Care Bears shirt tails kind of situation.
Probably about right. They were their own. First of all, this is another thing you'll notice as we talk about this, if we haven't already mentioned it. So many of these things had toy tie-ins and the Popples were no exception. I mean, Sylvanian Families had it too. The Popples were like, I don't know, they were like these weird furry creatures that like could fold into themselves into little furry ball. Like a little furry ball. So you could pop them out of the ball
and in. Like the little things on
in.
Star Trek.
Kind of like that, but they had faces and, so you're right. I think they were similar to Care Bears and you could buy these, stuffed animals that you could fold into a ball and then pop it out, hence the Popple.
All right.
I don't remember anything about their narrative, but I do remember that. And another one, Pound Puppies.
Yeah, I remember those. Puppies. My sister had some Pound Puppies, little stuffed animals.
Again, all about the stuffed animal tie-in.
Yeah,
there, so.
It won't surprise you to find out that generally I didn't lean toward the cutesy.
Yeah, I mean these are all pretty
stuff.
pretty
Yeah.
girly shows that I'm talking about. So
There's a couple on my list that might fall into that category from when I was really young.
Pound Puppies, I think, had a little bit of crossover, but probably not much. You had to be probably a pretty young boy to enjoy Pound Puppies.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's 3. Do you want me to keep going?
Yeah,
or?
give me some more.
Let's see. I'm looking. Oh, The Littles. Do you remember The Littles?
The Littles is on my list, honorable mentions list.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved The Littles.
Yeah, I love them too.
They did a Littles feature film. I remember going to see it in the theater too. It was
yeah.
really good.
It was very well animated.
It was about a little
lovely.
family that lived in the wall of a normal
Yeah, they were
sized
tiny.
family.
Right.
And they had adventures and everything was very
Yep.
big to them, of course, because they were all 6 inches tall. But it was a very, it was a little better written and animated and like whimsical and smarter, I think, than most Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah, I think it was actually based on a children's book.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah.
Series. And I remember the art
A little more
being-
literate, maybe
Yeah, it was
would
more
be a good way to
literate.
say it. Yeah.
The art was really lovely, I think,
Yeah.
on it. So I have nice memories of that. Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Yeah, I liked Alvin and the
Yeah,
Chipmunks.
I was a big fan
Yeah.
of Alvin and the Chipmunks and the Chipettes, who got
Yeah.
added in at some point.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say about that.
I mean,
but
everybody knows Alvin and the Chipmunks.
yeah,
Yeah.
it became pretty big. I think it was pretty popular.
Yeah.
Shirt Tails. Do you remember Shirt Tails?
Shirt tails were also on my list.
Yeah.
This is like probably the cutesy pooeyest thing that I had on my list.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought they were great. I liked, there was Bogey the orangutan, and what was there was a panda, girl panda.
The girl was the panda.
There was Rick the raccoon.
Uh-huh.
They were little, cute, tiny little animals, and
Yep.
they wore shirts, and
That had little
and on their
tags on
shirts
them.
were their names.
Yeah. I mean,
and they were just adorable.
they
were
totally
beyond
adorable. Yep.
Yeah, probably cloying as hell and impossible to
Oh,
watch
yeah.
today if you
I'm
tried to
sure.
like dial it up on YouTube. But when you're a real little kid,
Yeah, that's from
great.
when you and I were probably quite small. It
Yeah.
was, very early. The Get Along Gang was like kind of similar. Yeah.
Yeah, and
think.
so similar that I mixed them up.
Yeah,
with
I know,
Shirt
I do
Tails.
too. You can only remember Shirt Tails because they had the specific shirts. That
Yes.
was a difference.
Yeah.
Hence the name. I don't know.
Yeah,
What a
I think my
weird
sister
concept.
had little stuffed shirt tail.
Yeah, I think I
people.
had one
Yeah.
too. And I'll just mention also for the girls, My Little Pony and Rainbow Bright. Not
Yep.
good shows, but very popular
Yep.
and definitely
Care
had,
Bears.
Care
there were
Bears.
a lot of these.
I watched them. I loved them at
Girly,
the time. They're probably. I mean, I know there's a big My Little Pony following now, but
Yeah, not among little girls though.
no. But for little girls at the time, these were like gold
Yeah.
standard. We loved them all.
Yeah. There was a girl in my class named Michelle. I remember one day. This is in like, I don't know. I was in like second or third grade, very small, and I remember looking back, hearing a noise
Okay.
behind me in the classroom,
Yeah.
and looking back at her, and she had one of those little plastic My Little Pony figurines.
Oh yeah.
And she was just galloping it in a circle on her desk, and she seemed to be lost in her own world.
I mean, they were so
looking
popular.
at this thing, and I just
Yeah.
remember thinking,
girls are weird.
girls are weird. What is she thinking about?
I had Smurfs on my honorable mentions as well. It
Yeah,
didn't make my top 10.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't even put them on my honorable. They're just
wow.
too annoying.
Well,
I
they
liked them
are.
as a kid,
Yes.
and if I was making this list as a kid, they'd probably be in my top 10. But I'm not. So
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to say it's good. It wasn't, but I was obsessed with it.
Yeah,
I mean, I
the
remember
Smurfs were
being
great.
really into it. And I
Yeah.
don't know why, but I was.
how did you come down on the Snorks?
I liked them.
You like the?
I think I had.
you
I
were
think
okay with the
I was
rip-off?
equal opportunity. Smurfs and
Yeah,
Snorks.
the Snorks were basically the Smurfs underwater.
They were, although they were different colors, that was different from the Smurfs, but the only difference probably. I had a couple of those. I had a couple of Snorks figurines as
I
well.
thought the Snorks were all like kind of a pinkish yellow color.
Were they? I thought they were different colors. Well, anyway,
Maybe. I thought they were all the same color, but
I
not
don't
blue.
know. No, they weren't blue.
Like
They
the
couldn't
Smurfs.
possibly be blue. You might have. Do you remember the Berenstain Bears? I used to love the Berenstain.
Yeah,
Bears.
I don't remember it as a Saturday morning cartoon, but
Well, it
I
was a
remember
cartoon.
Reading,
I don't know when
remember
it was-
reading children's books,
The books
about
were
them.
The books were mostly what I remember, but they did
Yeah.
have an animated. I don't know if it was on all the time. I don't know when it was on, but I did see it. I love the Berenstain.
The first thing I
Bears.
kind of think of when I think of the Smurfs now is the big monologue from Donnie Darko.
Oh, Smurfs or Berenstain Bears?
No, the Smurfs.
The Smurfs. Okay, we're back on the Smurfs.
Sorry, I'm still thinking about the Smurfs.
Oh, you're still thinking about the
and how
Smurfs?
weird they are. I was just trying to figure out, like, well, what is
That's
a
right.
Smurf? And a Smurf is a Smurf, but, like, what are they? Like, they're little woodland trolls or...
Well, what are anything else that we've talked about so far for that matter, really?
yeah, I guess so.
But
well,
yeah,
at least,
you're
like,
right.
you know, I can look at the shirt tails and I can be like, that's a panda.
Well,
it just
right.
happens to be
Yeah,
wearing a
that's
bow
true.
and a shirt.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. What are the Smurfs? And you're right. There's a fun or an interesting, memorable monologue in Donnie Darko.
And, you know,
about
there are a
the Smurfs.
million different creatures living in our ocean, but none of them are snorks.
That's true.
Yeah.
So what are snorks?
Yeah, what are snorks?
Although snorks, at least you can say they're sea creatures. Smurfs, you can't even,
You could say they're woodland creatures.
I guess. Are they? I don't know.
Didn't they
We're
live in the
getting into-
woods?
I think so.
Didn't they live in kind of like
They lived in
little
mushroom
mushrooms?
houses.
Yeah.
Oh
so,
my gosh.
Yeah, so they lived in the woods.
We're getting into like a Smurf spiral here.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, Berenstain Bears. That's also in my honorable mentions. And another one, perhaps somewhere in your list, is Ewoks.
No.
No, you didn't have that in your
No,
list.
and I think it's only because that cartoon came a little later, and I was maybe aged out of cartoons
you were
by
kinda
that
done with
point. I
it.
did not watch Ewoks or Droids, which was the other Star Wars cartoon that came out at the same time. I think it was too old.
There's a couple on here I'm not going to mention because I'm sure you're going to talk
Okay.
about them. So,
Are you ready for my honorable mention
I am
list?
ready.
Then?
Yes, let's do it.
All right. It was an afternoon show. It was Heathcliff.
Oh, yeah, I love
That was not a
Heathcliff.
Saturday morning cartoon. It was a syndicated afternoon one, but I loved Smartass Heathcliff.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, he
I
was
love
kind of
Heathcliff.
like a poor man's Garfield,
Yeah,
but I thought he was funny.
I did too. I watched Heathcliff.
Similarly, I think this was also a Saturday morning cartoon. I could be wrong, or afternoon cartoon. But Dennis the Menace,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
which was basically Heathcliff, only it was a boy instead of a cat.
Yeah, I mean, that was the popular. They were
mischievous.
both popular
Yeah.
comic strips, I think.
They
in
were,
the
yeah.
paper, yeah.
Yeah, I like the Jetsons.
Yeah, I like the Jetsons.
I'm not sure
yeah.
they were making new episodes in the 80s. I think maybe it had finished its run, and so every Jetsons I saw was a rerun, but I did like them.
Yeah, that was like an afternoon syndicated thing, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I like
yeah, I
the
liked them
Flintstones too, but they didn't seem to rerun as often like I do. But the Jetsons were on like every day where I grew up
Yeah.
for some reason.
Yeah, I liked the Jetsons too.
There was a cartoon very early in the 80s when I was a really little kid called Goldie Gold and Action Jack,
Oh.
which I loved. Have you ever heard of this?
Only through you. I didn't remember it from
Goldie
the time.
Gold is a super rich woman. I mean, she
Yeah.
doesn't do anything.
Right.
She's just
She's a
really, really
socialite.
rich. I think she's like an heiress. Yeah, like a
Okay, an
socialite.
heiress, yeah.
But one of the many things she owns is a newspaper, and
Oh,
Jack is an investigative reporter.
Oh.
And so they have a little romance, and they go around the world solving mysteries.
This sounds fun.
Yeah.
I feel like I would watch this.
Yeah, she was rich
like this.
on a level of like Richie Rich. Like she
Yeah.
would have it was like ridiculous. She had like planes that had swimming pools
Yeah.
on them covered in glass,
Right.
just insane.
Yep.
It was a fun show. Probably would make a fun live action show from the 80s had they decided to do it.
Yeah.
Because everybody was solving mysteries in that decade on TV.
It might have been hard budget wise, though.
Yeah, probably
to
would.
pull that off. Yeah.
Yeah. Rubik, the Amazing Cube.
Oh,
Do you remember the
yeah,
Rubik's
I do.
Cube cartoon?
Well, this is a good moment to talk about. There was like a whole slate of.
Yeah, so also on my list was Pac-Man.
Yeah.
There was also, I believe, a Cubert.
Yes, there was.
Cartoon.
And Donkey Kong and Frogger. I think
Oh my
all of
gosh,
them
really?
were. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like a whole morning. So it was, I don't remember which network it was, but one of the networks, maybe NBC, it was like a whole slate of arcade game cartoons, like you're talking about.
Yeah, so, and all pretty interchangeable, like really targeted at really, really young
Oh, yeah.
kids.
I remember I never really played arcade games, but I remember being very excited about it. I remember seeing a special that Scott Baio hosted, I think it was the day before the Saturday morning cartoon started. We've talked about this, right? The sort of the fall Friday, here's your introduction to all the new Saturday morning cartoons show. So it would come on Friday. And
It would always be like Todd Bridges or Tina Yothers or Keisha Knight Pulliam or somebody like that hosting a 30-minute preview of all the shows that were going to show up on that network.
And it was so exciting to watch this show. And the one I'm thinking, like I said, it was Scott Baio hosted it, and he talked about all the arcade shows. I remember this. It's a memory I have.
Yeah, Rubik was crazy because it was how do you animate a Rubik's Cube?
Right.
And they just put legs on it and a little blue face.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very strange. And I believe, only because I can picture the opening credits, that the premise was that he was like in a like an old-timey traveling carnival or something, and he was there was a magical spell placed on a Rubik's Cube, and he came to life, and he tumbled off the back of the... I could be completely making
the
this
memories
up,
that that seems.
I'm picturing him tumbling out of this wagon into like a dirt road.
Well, when you think about it, the premises they'd come up with for some of these shows, that seems
I mean, I'm sure there was there was some meeting with a bunch of cynical old network guys one day. They were just like, "Oh man, how do we make a Rubik's Cube into a compelling?"
He fell off a car.
How about if he's got a blue
truck?
head and he falls out of a circus cart? Sold. Let's do it.
Well, kids liked it, so.
And then I had 4 more, and they're all action-based. And you'll find as I tried to vary my top 10 a little bit, but I was, a typical little boy, and I liked the sort of more action-adventure types of cartoons. So I really liked The Incredible Hulk. That was a great cartoon. There was a great science fiction kind of Conan-style sword and sorcery mashup called Black Star, which I really liked. There was another kind of science fiction Conan sword and sorcery mashup called Thundar the Barbarian, which I really liked. And then there was a Tarzan the Ape Man / the Lone Ranger hour, where the first half hour was a Tarzan adventure and the second half hour was a Lone Ranger adventure. And those were really cool. I've watched some of those as an adult, and they kind of hold up. They're actually really well animated and kind of fun.
Cool.
It's fun to see a Western cartoon. That was
unusual.
It's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. There was a Zorro cartoon too by the same people that did Tarzan and Lone Ranger, and it was good too.
Yeah. This reminds me of one I'd forgotten. This is an honorable mention. That's sort of a more action-y show on my list. Was Thundercats, which I don't think was probably your thing. But
I was never into Thundercats. I had one figure. I had Panthro because I thought he was cool looking, but I didn't really watch the cartoon.
That was a weekday afternoon show. At least
it was
where I lived. And Thundercats. It had a little bit. It was sort of like He-Man with cats, a little bit, because he had the main. Lion-O, I think, had a sword or whatever that he would use similarly to He-Man. But my brother and I were into that show. So
Chitara, was that her name?
Chitara was the girl. There was always one girl character.
Yeah.
And in this one, it was, she was a cheetah.
Yeah.
Anyway, yep.
All right, let's do our top 10s.
Okay.
I'll let you start.
Number 10 was one, something close to my heart, although it was very short-lived, I believe, Kid Video. I loved Kid Video.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of a hybrid live action cartoon.
Yeah, it
was a band that gets sucked into like a cartoon land.
Like actually more of a new wave band. They were sort of a new wavy band, and they got sucked. They were teenagers. I think it used to, was it bookended with live action? I think it was kind of like the beginning and the end would be live action.
Yeah, the opening credits explained you saw them live action, and then you saw them turned into cartoons.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember the theme song because it was super catchy.
Yep.
And the other thing I remember from that show is that the keyboard player was Cousin Oliver from the Brady Bunch.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, grown up, he was a young man at that point.
Of course, yeah. I was really into Kid Video. I thought it was great. Big fan.
Robbie, I want to say his name's like Robbie Wrist or Robbie Rust or something.
I don't know.
I don't know why. Okay. In the world, any of my brain pan is being allocated to remembering that. Oh, if I could just wipe
real estate you'll never get back. Yep.
My number 10 was Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
Yeah.
A great action adventure cartoon with Spider-Man, and he had 2 friends. A guy who was like ice. I think he was just called Iceman.
Made of ice.
And then a woman named Firestar.
Oh.
Who?
So he had fire and ice for friends.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And they were like college pals or something, and they had a cool hideout in their apartment, like a secret room with computers and stuff.
Yes. I remember my college days well. Very similar. Yeah.
Yeah. Great adventure show. And it was like an era where, we had a few good ones. There's a big one for me coming up on this list, but there wasn't a again, it wasn't a golden era for superheroes. We had that Incredible Hulk cartoon. We had Spider-Man and his amazing friends, but there was no like Avengers cartoon. There was no, the DC characters didn't get their own. There was a Superman cartoon in the middle of the decade that was so short-lived that I don't have a lot of memory of it. But it was just kind of much like live action, kind of a bleak era for superheroes and cartoons. But Spider-Man was a great one.
I do think cartoons is where you were probably getting the most of it, though. That was
for sure.
the highest concentration.
If you were going to see it you were, certainly more than live action.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What was your number 9?
Another one super dear to my heart that I just was obsessed with was Voltron. I was a big
Voltron. Yeah, I didn't
Voltron
watch this
fan.
either. It was too, I know it was pre-anime, but it was too anime to me or something.
Yeah. I don't know why, but I was obsessed with it. I just thought it was the greatest thing
that's funny.
I'd ever seen.
It seems like such a boy show.
I know,
from
but
the
I was
outside.
obsessed with it.
It's like a robot, right? It's
Yeah,
like a bunch of
like-
people that
yeah.
fly little vehicles that when you combine those vehicles, they create a giant
Voltron.
robot.
Yeah, kind of, and the big robot looks kind of like a transformed, right? Yeah, I don't know. I was obsessed with it. I think it was like set on another planet, and yeah, you're right. So they were like different. Each character in the show had a different like vehicle. Like they looked like kind of cats or whatever, or panthers. And
I can picture the people. I think my sister had the figures. They had little helmets, and each character had a different color helmet.
Yeah, because it matched the color.
There was a
of
short
their
guy with
vehicle.
glasses and a green helmet.
Yeah,
I could picture the characters. I just don't know that I even ever saw the show.
Yeah, I don't know. All I can say is I was so obsessed with it. Yeah,
It is huge. It's huge.
yeah, I love it.
I'm surprised it hasn't been rebooted in any form
is
because it seems like a
surprising.
thing that would be like freakishly popular
Maybe
today.
it hasn't. We don't know about it. But yeah, you'd think it would be very popular.
My number 9 was a really probably terrible show if you watch it today called Inspector Gadget.
I had that at number 8. I loved Inspector Gadget.
This was a syndicated afternoon show.
Yeah.
He was he a detective? I guess he was a detective.
Yeah, he was
hence
sort
the
of like
name.
an Inspector Clouseau type, right? When you think about it.
He was a giant dum-dum. Wasn't he voiced by Don Adams? Or am I making that up?
I don't know.
From Get Smart.
I've
I feel
never
like he
thought
was,
about
but
it.
maybe I'm
Either that or someone
imagining
doing
that.
an impression.
Yeah.
Because it was that type of voice.
He had was she a niece?
Yes. Her name
Her name was Penny,
Mm-hmm.
and she had a dog.
Whose name I can't recall.
I can't either. I could picture him.
Yeah, I can too.
Anyway, he was a bumbling idiot.
Yes.
And Penny did all the actual detective
Yeah.
work, and he got the glory.
Right.
And he had all these gadgets. And
Yeah, like he had a helicopter that came out of his
Yeah.
hat. He wore like a fedora and what's the word? I can't think of it now. Oh my
Trench
gosh.
coat?
Trench coat,
Yeah.
yes. A fedora and a trench coat, and then, like a little helicopter came out of his hat. And
Go gadget,
He had
go!
like an extending hand. And, yeah.
Yep. It was a big show.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of a cultural phenomenon for kids.
And they did make that into
they made toys.
Yeah,
it
well-
was a big doll that had actual gadgets built into
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
But what I was going to say was, I forget when, but 90s or 2000s,
Oh,
Matthew
yeah.
Broderick made
Matthew Broderick played him, yeah.
live-action Inspector Gadget movie, which I never saw. But
I can't imagine it's remotely watchable.
No, it's probably not. But I do remember it being around.
So that's your number 8?
That's my number 8.
My number 8
Yep.
is Muppet Babies.
Oh, that's on my list very high.
Okay, we'll skip it for now.
okay,
We'll come
yep.
back to it. What's your number 7?
She-Ra, Princess of Power. She-Ra.
Yeah, She-Ra.
The female
Yeah, yeah.
man, I guess.
I did not watch She-Ra. It comes no surprise to you.
No.
But you will find her cousin coming up on my list.
Yes, I'm sure
pretty
he's very
soon.
high on your list. I loved She-Ra, of course, because it was like, He-Man for girls.
Yeah.
And had a wonderful girly color palette, and I loved it. Although, it had a lot of action in it, to be fair, I think.
Here's
so.
a quiz for you.
Yeah.
How many other She-Ra characters can you name besides She-Ra?
I can name one for sure.
Because you dressed as her for Halloween.
I did, yeah. Her name was Angela, Queen Angela, I think. Yeah, she was like...
There was one guy,
angel.
wasn't there?
There was one guy. I don't remember his
Didn't
name.
he have a sweet Tom Selleck mustache?
He did, I
Yeah.
believe, and had like hearts on his like outfit. I don't know what he was about. I forget. But
what was his name?
Like I said, I can only remember one other character's name, and I just said it. Angela was. I thought she was beautiful, and she had angel wings and stuff. So that's why I dressed as her for Halloween instead of She-Ra.
Yeah,
but, yeah,
she was big. My sister had She-Ra figures.
Yeah, I had a couple. I had the She-Ra doll, and I had a
that hair
Angela
got pretty
doll.
nutty, as I remember.
Yeah, it didn't.
I'm glad the
hold
He-Mans
up
did
very
not
well.
come with like real hair because
yeah.
it got a little crazy.
Oh yeah, it did not hold up for sure.
I always cheat on every list, and this is the one where I cheat.
Okay.
So my number 7 is a 4-way tie.
Wow, 4-way tie.
Yeah.
Okay, let's hear
and
it.
Here's how I'm justifying it.
Yeah.
It's a 4-way tie of short-lived, crummy, but shows that I love.
Okay.
All centered around existing IP that was probably not the greatest thing for kids.
Okay.
So here's what I mean.
It. I'm not sure what this is going to be.
Yeah. So Rambo, The Force of Freedom.
Right.
A great Saturday morning cartoon spawned from extremely violent R-rated movies, including one about a guy dealing with horrible PTSD from the Vietnam War. That's a pretty gritty survival thriller.
A great movie, that one that you're talking about. But otherwise.
Yeah, but you don't watch that movie and have your first thought be, you know what would be great is a Saturday morning cartoon.
I mean, to be fair, that movie is the least iconic kid friendly.
I loved it. It had great toys. They were larger than G.I. Joes. They were like...
were they?
Yeah, I can't remember what the size was. They were like over 4 inches, though, and they were really well made.
Were they like Barbie size or like
No,
bigger?
they weren't quite that big. They were in between.
Oh, okay. Uh-huh.
But really like quality. They weren't cheap. They were like really nice toys.
That's nice.
Yeah, I love the Rambo show. The second one, Chuck Norris, Karate Commandos.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So again, you're looking at Invasion USA or Lone Wolf McQuade or any of these hard R action movies, and your first thought is kids are going to love this.
I mean, you watched those movies as a kid, though, didn't you?
I did, of course. Yeah. I mean, I thought Chuck Norris was the coolest guy on the planet when I was a kid. Yeah, and so I loved his cartoon. It was very short-lived. It was like, I think they only ended up making 6 or 7 episodes, but I watched them all a million times.
That is another one that has like a live action intro because it's Chuck usually doing sit-ups or something.
Yeah, it's him working out in the gym, and then he very clearly reads off a cue card some moral message.
Yeah, he was not.
To say he's phoning it in would be like doing a disservice to the idea of phoning it in. Yeah,
that's true.
But I loved it. It was Commandos with a K, Karate Commandos.
Wow. Okay.
He had a kid sidekick named Too Much who only said too much.
Yeah, this was a common
like 5 times an episode.
Trope.
Too much.
Yeah.
He had a sumo wrestling team member. He had a ninja team member. There were ninjas all over this show. All the villain, Dr. Claw's henchmen were all ninjas.
Oh, that was the villain? Was
so
Dr.
as
Claw?
a ninja-obsessed little boy, too, this was like cartoon nirvana for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love that show. Similar, Mr. T.
Yes, it's very similar.
Yeah. Mr. Dun, dun, dun. Mr. T. Mr. T inexplicably became the manager of a children's gymnastics team.
This is what I mean about the premises of these shows in the 80s. I mean, whatever. It was like whatever.
Yeah, there was a lot of cocaine floating around in the 80s. That's all I can say.
Or a lot of lack of caring.
So, Mr. T, amazing. The opening credits alone are unbelievable. The theme song is unbelievable.
Yeah. I've come to really appreciate the show.
Dave
I didn't really watch.
Dave Chappelle sings the theme song in his movie Block Party.
Yes. It's one that I didn't watch at the time, but I've very much come to appreciate it as an adult.
It's great.
Yeah,
it's so fun. Great. It totally holds up because it's
really
just
fun. It's wild.
Crazy.
It's really crazy.
Beyond crazy. In the opening credits, there's an alligator swimming along in a swamp, just minding his own business, not doing anything. And out of nowhere, Mr. T jumps out of the water, grabs the alligator by the tail, swings it around, and throws it to Timbuktu. It's like, what is happening?
It's my favorite part of the intro, and I just feel so bad for that alligator. He wasn't trying to do anything. He was just trying to live his life.
He's just floating along, minding his own business.
I feel bad for him.
Oh, God, Mr. T. Really yeah, it's a great cartoon. Yeah. The fourth one is Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling. That makes a little more sense because, kids loved pro wrestling. Yeah. Pro wrestling was largely targeted at little kids, I would say, and Hulk Hogan was a hero to little kids. And so it was him and all of the wrestlers
Yeah.
from the WWF at the time. And it was just fun to see them in cartoon form. My only regret is that there was never like an animated Cyndi Lauper to run around with.
That would have been so great.
But
that
I
really would have been
enjoyed
great.
the cartoon.
Didn't the WWF, didn't they air the regular live action, so to speak, WWF? Wasn't that kind of a Saturday thing or a weekend thing? Like, when did that come on? It wasn't at night.
It was, yeah, you're right. It was syndicated.
I feel like it was on.
I don't know for sure. I mean, I know
Saturdays,
WrestleMania
but-
was largely pay-per-view
Oh.
in the era, but there was, of course, like
was
pro
some of it
wrestling
was
on. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I didn't really watch
I was
it.
not
but
huge into it. I liked the
uh-huh.
cartoon, but I wasn't really big into the live
Yeah.
action.
I just
stuff,
was
and
having
so
a
I couldn't
memory
tell you a lot about it.
of it being on Saturdays, but maybe I'm wrong. Yeah.
What's your number 6?
Mine is, again, I'm sure this is past your cartoon watching times, but Gummy Bears. This was part of when the Disney Corporation started to put a lot of cartoons out on TV. This was a Saturday show, the Gummy
Yeah.
Bears. I was a big
This is
Gummy
a
Bears
weird
fan.
one for me because
This is
there's
pretty
nothing gummy about the gummy bears, right? On the cartoon.
The thing that's the
They're not, because I can picture, I remember seeing pictures of them and they're just bears.
they're just bears dressed in like medieval costumes.
Yeah.
But what happens is if you listen to the theme song, when they need to spring into action for whatever reason, I don't remember why, but something happened, they need to spring into action. They drink gummy berry juice, which allows them to bounce around on their butts.
What?
I'm not kidding.
What do you mean?
That's what they do. That's
But what
why
do
they're
you-
the gummy bears.
What do you mean they bounce around on their butts?
I mean that, literally. I'm not kidding.
They drink the juice and then they just start bouncing on
They
their
become
butts?
bouncy.
To what effect? Like, to what end?
Like I said, it's like something.
We just lost it. She can't even talk.
I'm not making it up.
I don't
something
doubt
would
you. I
happen,
just-
like somebody would be in trouble, I guess, and they would need to spring into action, and that is how they would do it. I don't know.
I'm having a hard time picturing this.
Well, we'll have to watch like the intro later because the intro basically tells the whole story. So, yeah, it's I don't know. That's what it is, and I enjoyed it at the time.
I can't wait to see this.
Yeah,
This
you love it. You'll
it's
love
not
it.
what I would have ever guessed that Gummy Bears was about.
I mean, I don't know if that's what it was about, but it was definitely part of it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that makes my number 6 look pretty tame by comparison. My number 6 was Richie Rich,
Oh yeah, of course.
which I loved. He had a maid that was a robot. He had a little girlfriend. He had a dog named Dollar, this white dog.
Yeah.
And that had like a dollar sign shaved into the side of him.
Yeah.
It was a fun show. It was just, it was very 80s. It was just, opulence and insane wealth and,
It always made me think of Silver Spoons, like as if
he was a
Silver
little
Spoons was
do-getter.
like
He
a
wasn't as
live action.
sarcastic as Ricky Schroeder was,
Yeah, I guess
but
that's true,
he was a more sincere
He
kid,
was. He was
but-
a do-gooding
yeah.
kind of a kid.
And he did a partnership show, in fact, with my number 5. So I'll just transition straight into my
okay.
number 5, which was Scooby-Doo.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
Scooby-Doo, of course, predates the
Yes.
80s. There've been a million iterations of Scooby-Doo, and they're still making them,
It's a classic.
which is great. And I was a fan, and I don't know. I mean, I think I saw probably all of it. It was primarily what's the Scooby-Doo show that's in the form of a question, the title.
Scooby-Doo, where are you?
Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Yeah, that was the main one. And then there
Yeah.
was also Scooby-Doo, All New Mysteries or something like that. And that was
Okay.
the one that had celebrity guests.
Oh
And
yeah.
I think that was my favorite
Those are pretty wild.
version of Scooby-Doo, where
Yeah.
like Phyllis Diller would be helping him, or Abbott and Costello, or the Globetrotters,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
just like, the aforementioned Don Knotts also was
Oh,
on it.
yeah, sure, right.
Mama Cass
That's right.
showed up a few times. Yeah, just
yeah.
the wildest.
Sonny and Cher. Didn't
Sonny
they
and
show
Cher.
us
Yep,
sometime?
Sonny
yeah.
and Cher.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were always like busting up scammy carnivals and
Yep.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an interesting cartoon. If you, I was, watching it like, I don't know, like a year ago maybe, because it's on one of the streaming services, and I was like, this is it's interesting that it's scary. Like it's centered entirely around ghosts and monsters, and I mean, it's very kiddie, but it's kind of unique in that way from that era.
I mean, it wasn't horror, but it
was horror adjacent for sure.
It was adjacent. I don't remember thinking it was scary, like even as a little kid.
No, it's too goofy, but that's what they're doing.
It was
they're
all
like,
about ghosts. Yeah.
And Scooby and Shaggy were always scared.
They
to
were
death.
always
like
really
that was
scared.
their thing.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What was your number 5?
My number 5 was Garfield and Friends.
Oh yeah,
I used to love Garfield and
Friends. Love that lasagna.
He loved that lasagna.
Odie. He was always torturing Odie the dog.
Yeah. Yeah. I also enjoyed, so they would have the Garfield segments, but they would have his and Friends, right? I also used to enjoy the Friends segments as well.
I don't remember.
I'm forgetting what they were, but yeah, I think there was, one was something acres. It was like farm animals. Anyway, that's one that I can remember. I can't remember all of them, but yeah.
Cool.
I liked Garfield and Friends. I don't know if that made your list, but
no, it did not.
But yeah,
I was more of a Heathcliff guy.
Gonna
be honest.
I liked him too.
Yeah. But I liked Garfield. I liked his Christmas special.
Oh, it's a great Christmas special.
He had a primetime Christmas special that was pretty good.
Yep.
All right. Now I'm up to the big guns for me.
Okay.
The top 4 are like this is like the Mount Rushmore, truly, for me, of all cartoons. These are my 4 favorite cartoons by a comfortable margin of all time. So number 4, it was hard to rank these, in fact.
Yeah.
But number 4 for me is He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
I'm surprised it's so low down.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
I
must
loved it.
mean,
I had all the toys.
Yep.
Loved the toys.
Yeah.
Like every kid. I still remember, this is wild because I don't know how old I was, 7, 8, when that show came on. I remember where I was when I learned that it existed.
Wow.
Because I was into the toys before the cartoon. Before I even knew the cartoon existed.
Interesting.
Huh. And I remember being in line to get into PE. This is in like 1st or 2nd grade or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe even younger. And my friend Andrew, we were talking He-Man, as we often did. And he's like, there's a cartoon. And I was like, what? What do you say, sir?
Mind?
What did you just say? My mind was blown.
Wow.
And I couldn't think about anything the rest of the school day. It's all I could think about. I mean, I was like going through my subjects and like zoned out in my head because I was just like, there is a He-Man cartoon? And he told me when it was on, and I rode the bus that got me home at 3:45, and the show was on at 3:30. And so it went from 3:30 to 4.
Speaking of
I got home at 3:45, getting off the bus, and I remember sprinting off that bus and across the yard and into the house, chucking my bag into the door and running to the TV to throw that thing on so I could see the last 10 minutes of He-Man and just be like, oh my God, he's right. It's real. I can't believe it's real.
Wow.
And yeah.
That's a great memory.
Yeah.
I feel bad for you though. That meant that you only ever got to see the second half-ish of
For
He-Man
a while.
shows?
Yeah, they moved it around like every other show, and I eventually saw all of them many, many times, I can assure you.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I
was
also-
really into
go
it.
ahead.
I even loved the live action movie, even though it was, not the He-Man of the cartoons, just because I was so happy to see a live action He-Man.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just
Take
loved
what you can get.
love the Masters of the Universe.
While He-Man didn't make my top 10, I watched it every day because my brother watched it every day, and She-Ra was on probably after it. I don't remember, but I
It had some strong female role models.
Yeah, I
Tila
loved
was
He-Man
the captain
also.
of the guard, and the sorceress was like the president of Eternia.
Yeah, the sorceress was awesome.
Yeah.
So I really liked He-Man too. It actually should probably be in my top 10, but I knew it was going to be in yours, so I figured we'd for sure talk about it. I loved He-Man.
What was your number 4?
Again, one you probably didn't care about, but DuckTales. My brother
this was
and I,
definitely after
your time,
but I know it's huge.
Again, this is part of that whole when Disney became huge in afternoon.
What's the actual premise of that? Are they like archaeologists or something? Because I feel like I'm always seeing them dressed as. Oh no, I'm thinking of Chip and Dale.
Yeah, I liked that one too. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
Yeah.
DuckTales. I don't know. I don't remember what the premise was, but it was basically Scrooge McDuck and his nephews Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and they would have adventures. And you always got to watch Scrooge swim around in his big money bin, and I don't know. I loved it. It was great. And I this maybe should be a tie between there was a show called Tailspin that was also duck related, and that was more like
TAIL spin.
Yes.
Tail?
Yeah, it was TAIL spin. And then also Chip and Dale, like you said, we used to watch all of those shows. So
those were afternoon shows, weren't they?
those were afternoon shows. Yeah. It was called the Disney Afternoon, in fact. Yeah.
And that was on regular TV or on the Disney Channel?
We didn't have cable, so for sure it was on network. I don't remember what channel it was on, but it might not have been network. It might have been like a syndicated.
Yeah.
But it was a block of programming.
Yeah, I was definitely aware of it, but
you were too old probably by that time. It was one of those things me and my brother would watch together. As I was getting a little older, but I wasn't too old for it. So, yeah.
So my number 3, and this is really getting a little Sophie's Choice-ish here, and I'm even in this very moment thinking about flipping my number 2 and my number 3.
You can just talk about them together. It's okay. Yeah. You're going to flip them?
I'm going to flip. No, I'm not. I'm going to leave them where they are. I don't know.
Okay.
It's not like it matters. It's not like
they're about it. They're
not
in
like
the same.
People at home writing this down.
Waiting with bated breath.
Yeah, waiting with bated breath. I don't know if these shows are on Letterboxd, but if they are, I'll make a Letterboxd list and then maybe go back and edit it when I truly make up my mind.
Okay. But so they're about the same par as what I'm hearing. Yeah. Okay.
Number 3 is G.I. Joe.
I'm surprised also that is not like your number 1.
It was by far and away, my top toy of my childhood.
You're a huge G.I. Joe fan.
I had a million G.I. Joes, a million vehicles, play sets. I never got the USS Flag because I wasn't that spoiled. But, but I had a lot of the toys. I did.
Yeah.
And just loved it. It was such a great action-adventure show, and I loved all the characters. There were ninjas in it. I mean, it was just...
It had everything.
Everything I wanted out of a afternoon cartoon.
Yeah.
I loved, the little moral message at the end. Yes. Knowing is half the battle.
Knowing is half the battle.
I loved the opening theme. I loved that nobody ever died. No wonder that war with Cobra went on forever, because every time they would shoot down a plane, you'd see a parachute coming out of it, and it would be like, oh man, they're not making any progress. This war will go on forever because nobody ever gets hurt.
I never really thought about it, but that's true.
Yeah, it had such colorful villains.
Yes.
Cobra Commander and Destro and the Baroness and Storm Shadow, and man, I just loved all of them. I never got into the comics because I was just never a comic book kid.
Yeah.
But I've heard the comics are really great. Really great too.
I always thought G.I. Joe. I used to watch G.I. Joe also just because my brother watched it, and I enjoyed it. It always had a bit of a creepiness to it. Am I wrong about that? I mean, not in a bad way, but I don't know. Maybe it was the weird villains. I suppose. Stuff.
There were some weird villains on Cobra.
It just and people pulling off their faces to reveal their face. I don't know. Just surreal.
Maybe
surreal is what I mean.
Zartan. He was the master of disguise for Cobra.
Maybe it was maybe surreal is what I want to say.
He had these punk rock guys called the Dreadnoks, I think were their names. They were these, he's punk rock henchmen.
Wow, I don't remember all that.
He used to work with these twins, Zaymot and Tomax.
Wow, what names?
Can you believe I remember all this stuff? I remember all of this stuff. Yeah.
Wow. I just remembered having a surreal quality, maybe. I
love G.I. Joe so much that as an adult, I was working in London for the summer when the Channing Tatum, Marlon Wayans action movie came out, the first one, the original movie. And I went to see it on opening day in London. It was me and one other guy.
Yeah, because it probably wasn't a big deal over there.
Yeah, because they didn't care. And I was walking out, and I had a great time.
Yeah.
Again, I was just, even as an adult, I was like, oh my God, it's like live action G.I. Joe's.
You were so excited.
Oh my gosh, there's Snake Eyes, and he's like a real man. I was so excited. And we're walking out, and this British guy turns to me, and he goes, effing Yanks, am I right? That sounded more Australian.
All right.
I can't do a British accent. Effing Yanks, am I right? That's what he said to me.
Yeah.
And I just nodded and didn't let him know that I was American.
Oh, and you were like, I just had the best time.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I had a great time. I've seen that movie a few times since.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was your number 3?
Again, one that would have been past your time. The New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. That was a Saturday morning. I have a lot of Disney on here. I'm not even that big a Disney person.
Yeah,
but,
it makes you seem like a Disney princess.
It does, but I am not. But I love Winnie the Pooh, and I've always loved Winnie the Pooh as a character, and he's very sweet and bumbling. And
Piglet and Eeyore.
Yeah.
Is that his name, Eeyore?
Yes, Eeyore. Yeah. It just had a very gentle, sweet tone to it, and I loved it.
So where do you stand on the fact that they're now making horror movies with the Winnie the Pooh character because he fell into the
public domain?
Public domain. One. I imagine you're pretty revolted.
I don't like it. Yeah, I am revolted because that is not who Winnie the Pooh is.
That's right. I think it's called... I think the movie's called Blood and Honey.
I mean, I probably feel as offended as I did when they made a Point Break remake. And you know how offended I was about that. So
those were the dark days.
Pretty offended by that, but what can I do? Public domain.
Yeah. My number 2 is just an unbelievably great show. Totally holds up to this day. Even I think if you had never seen it before.
Okay.
And I think you could show this to kids today and they would love it. It's a show called Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, yeah. I had a feeling this was going to be high. It was in my honorable mentions.
It has this beautiful orchestral theme. It's about these kids that go to a theme park, a group of 5 teenagers, and they get sucked into this other world full of swords and sorcery, and each one is given a special power.
Yep.
So one becomes a barbarian, one becomes an acrobat, one becomes they call her the thief, and she has the ability to turn invisible. One becomes an archer. They're just like really likable characters, and there's a guy named the Dungeon Master. He's this tiny little wizard who gives them kind of riddles to solve to help them get home. They're just the whole series is them trying to get back to our world.
Yeah.
And they're fighting, dragons and all kinds of colorful villains. And it's a very well written show and beautifully animated and totally holds up. I've seen it as an adult and thought it was just I was surprised at how great it was.
That is surprising. I watched this too when I was younger. It was on my honorable mentions. I mean, it's based on, you're right. I think it would be big today because Dungeons and Dragons had a bit of a, the tabletop role-playing game, I think has had a bit of a resurgence.
Oh, for sure. They play it on Stranger Things.
Yeah, they play it on Stranger Things. So I think it would be very popular. I didn't realize it was so well done. I haven't seen it as an adult. So.
Yeah.
I remember them like rolling away on a roller coaster and it seeming like a little spooky.
Yeah, the opening credits are just great.
Good.
It's like such a shot of nostalgia for me.
Yeah.
Those opening credits, I love them. I love the theme. Da, 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 da. Has this beautiful like full orchestra.
I'll have to watch
theme.
the opening credits again. I mean, I remember images from it very clearly. So you're right. It's a striking opening credit sequence. Yep.
What was your number 2?
I think you will not be surprised to find out it is Gem.
Oh yeah. Gem and the Holograms. That should be on my list. Where is Gem?
I'm surprised it's not on your list.
I overlooked
somewhere.
Gem.
You love Gem, I think, now.
Gem.
I mean, at the time, you
I
probably
did not
thought
watch
it was
Gem as a kid, but you and I, about 7-8 years ago, it showed up on a streaming service, and we were like, "This show is hilarious."
It's the wildest show
it is crazy.
ever written. I think it's really. I love Gem.
Yeah, created by a woman named Christy Marks, Marx, and her episodes. When you saw her name in the writing credits, you knew you were in for a good time.
There's going to be
she
robot
has quite
sharks.
an imagination.
Probably.
That lady. Yeah, she's the creator of Gem. Too.
Yeah, she's the creator of Gem. You were like, "There's probably going to be robot sharks in this," and I'm here for it. I think she also wrote for G.I. Joe maybe sometimes.
She did. She wrote for a lot of cartoons. She was a big animation writer in the era.
Yeah, so maybe that's where some of the surreality came from because Gem was pretty surreal.
Yeah.
It was, there's a woman, her name is Jerica, and I don't know how, but like her dad, or she's like an orphan, and her dad left her this like hologram machine called Synergy that can turn her into Gem by using her earrings. And Gem, and as Gem, so it's her other identity. Gem is a rock star and has a band called the Holograms, of course.
It sounds like you're on a drug trip.
I know, right? I mean, it's a very surreal show.
What a premise!
I know, it's a crazy premise.
And she runs her own orphanage out of her mansion.
She does. She runs an orphanage out of her mansion.
And there's a rival band, punk band, that hates her guts more than anyone has ever hated anyone.
Yes. Yeah. It's amazing, right?
It's
like
great.
it's so amazing.
It'll have like 2 or 3 full-on music videos per episode, which always had pretty wild animation in them. And
by the way, like it would be a really packed plot of an episode, crazy, but like they would also repeat one of the songs twice. So I don't know how they fit that all into like 23 minutes or whatever it was, but it was a packed show.
And these songs, friends, are just dreck. I mean, they are the worst thing you've ever heard, and they all sound exactly alike. They wrote one melody for all 4 seasons of that show and just used that just kind of remixed over and over again with different lyrics.
Yeah, that's true. However, I do love the original Gem theme song. It makes me so happy. And I hated it when they changed the theme song.
That's fair. You're right. The first one was much better.
Dark moment. Anyway, that's my love of Gem. What do you think of Gem? You came to it later in life.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I thought it was. I think it's hysterical.
yeah, it's funny.
I think it's so funny.
It's crazy.
Yeah, because it sort of purports by its premise to be set in the real world. It's not like He-Man or Dungeons. It's not set in some kind of like fairy tale fantasy land. It's like people they drive around in cars and they fly around on planes and everything seems to be real. And then all of a sudden they're getting attacked by robot sharks.
Yeah. And a woman can use a hologram to turn into another person.
I mean, that was the one bit of crazy magic, but everything else in it tries to be grounded in like.
Right, of
life.
course. I mean, it is and it isn't. I mean, the hologram thing isn't even magic, though. It's supposed to be science on some level. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, it's crazy, and I love Gem. Okay, that's my number 2.
Yeah, it was great. My sister had all the dolls. They were like slightly bigger than the Barbies, I remember.
Yeah, they were similar, but slightly bigger. Yeah. I had Gem. I think that's the only one I had. Yeah.
My number 1, my favorite cartoon of the 80s and of my childhood and today is the Super Friends.
Of course.
And it's probably why I know the cool thing is to like say Marvel is better than DC because the Marvel universe are ostensibly better movies than the DC movies, although I actually disagree with that. I would say they're all about the same. But I'm a DC kid because of this show. And because of the Christopher Reeve
you're a Superman guy.
movies.
Yeah.
And I love the Tim Burton Batman. So the live action stuff that I loved for the most part. I love the Incredible Hulk TV show. That was Marvel, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I just love this cartoon. It's all the great DC characters. It's Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman, Aquaman, and then a bunch of supporting characters, including, unfortunately, of course, they always had a set of teens.
Oh.
They had Wendy and Marvin and the Wonder Dog, who were just humans.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were doing there, why they were allowed to participate. I guess they were interns.
We were probably supposed to relate to them. Like, that's who you were supposed to identify with, I'm guessing.
They were idiots, and I didn't like them.
Yeah.
And so I preferred the Wonder Twins. I mean, that's a little like saying I prefer getting poked in the eye to being kicked between the legs. Because the Wonder Twins were horrible. But at least the Wonder Twins, I understood why they were there, because they had superpowers. They were the dumbest superpowers any superhero
But
has
at least they had
but
superpowers.
They were,
but
at least they had them. And so there was a reason for them to be there. But man, I just loved it. I loved it. I loved the villains. There was the second season, I think, of the show is called Challenge of the Super Friends. The show went through a million iterations through its run. And there was a version, I think, the second or third season, where they introduced all the supervillains for them. So it was like Lex Luthor and the Joker and the Riddler and everybody from every Cheetah, every great like arch villain from every great DC character was in that, and they had their own hideout, and it was just great. Everything about it was great.
Yeah, I used to watch this too. It was great. One of the things I love about that, this is a tiny little thing, but you know that sound effect they use like when they're going between scenes of the,
you see like the star.
Yeah,
there's like a star.
I love that sound effect.
Yeah.
It's so great.
Great theme. I still like hum it all the time, just walking around the house.
You do.
It'll just pop into my head out of nowhere.
Yeah. It's very, I don't know, rousing. Yep.
Yeah,
it's a good theme
great.
song.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, what was your number 1?
My number 1 is Muppet Babies.
Muppet Babies.
We make our dreams come true.
That's right.
I love the Muppet Babies.
Yeah, born in as a segment of the Muppets Take Manhattan.
Yes.
The third Muppet movie, and then
live
somebody
action,
had the live action in that movie, and then somebody had the brilliant idea to say, look, we should make a cartoon out of this.
I mean, I love all things Muppets, as everyone's probably well aware at this point. And I think this was actually a legitimately good cartoon.
Yeah, I haven't seen it since I was a kid, but I would, if I had to guess, I would guess the writing was probably pretty good. I remember they would do spoofs of pop culture, like Kermit as Indiana Jones.
Right.
Which is, automatically puts them a step ahead of most cartoons, that they're being that sort of culturally savvy and aware. And
it definitely had the DNA of that era of Muppets.
Yeah.
So it's a great show. And also their sort of human caretaker nanny, I believe, is voiced by Barbara Billingsley.
Yeah,
if
Barbara
I'm not
Billingsley
mistaken.
of Leave It to Beaver. Yeah.
Which is kind of fun. So yeah, I loved I mean, it felt like it deserved, while I love Jem, Muppet Babies is probably higher quality.
Yeah.
So I put it at number 1, and I love the Muppets. So.
Yeah, as do I.
Yeah.
Our house is a Muppet house.
It is a Muppet
for
house.
Sure.
Yes.
We're pro Muppet.
We're
in this house.
big Muppet boosters. Yeah.
That's right. All right, we did it.
We did it.
That was our top 10s for Saturday morning cartoon. I say like once a year or so, Lisa and I will do a faux Saturday morning, where we'll have some cereal and watch a curated collection of these things, and that is a practice that I hope we do the rest of our lives because it is really fun to chill out and relax and watch these shows as you might have watched them back then, like just one after another. Just curate random episodes, and they're all on YouTube. You can these things are not that hard to find because people have uploaded them. Yeah.
Now that you mention it, I think it might be about time for.
Might be about time.
Again. Yeah,
we should do it.
Really great.
We should do it soon.
We
need to get some sugary cereal first.
We should,
and so that we can have the full experience.
100%.
Yeah,
let's do it.
I will have to have. What will be different is that I will be having coffee with it.
Thank God you weren't doing that as a child.
As a 7-year-old.
Not a good idea.
But I'm not going to give that up.
No, that's okay. So. We'll allow it.
Yeah, we should do it. We could end the morning with a Grizzly Adams.
Oh, beautiful.
That's how I always knew that Saturday morning was ending, because I would watch the ABC Weekend Special, and then Grizzly Adams was on at 11:30, and then at 12:30 it was time to eat lunch, and then it was out the door and playing for the rest of the day.
I think this is a day we need to do very soon.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, thank you for listening, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time. You've been listening to The Long Rewind. The program is produced by Dustin Morrow and hosted by me, Lisa Molinelli. If you enjoy the show, please consider hitting the subscribe button, leave us a good review on your podcast app, and tell your friends about the program. We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.